I'm fighting this battle every day. I'm telling you, this is a daily battle where people are saying, why do we, it's like, why do we care? There's this apathy that is infiltrating a lot of areas of our life. And I think maybe it has something to do with the pandemic, but I don't know. Since the strike has been happening, um, and even today I got this comment saying, what, so millionaires want more millionaire, or millionaires want more money? Like, what's the point? Like, it needs to all die, it needs to all go away. You're someone who's working in the system from various aspects of this, and I'm curious, you don't have to say anything about this, but if you would go on record, I'd love to have something from you talking about why people should care, why this matters, why it's not about wealth accumulation, it's about being recognized for, you know, being recognized as a person more than anything.
I understand, and many of us who basically are involved in this strike understand that actors are all perceived as being millionaires, and being on a TV show, we must, the Brinks truck must come and back up into our driveway every day. The fact is that there are many people, and there are probably, I say many, let's say 12, who are, gajillionaires. These are the Tom Hanks, the Tom Cruises, the Julia Roberts, who make a great deal of money because they deserve to, because their movies get, their movies command that, they get those salaries because they command that, because their movies make that kind of money. There are a lot of other of us who are not those names, but have the privilege of working. And I've been an actor, I started when I was 5, but I've been an actor, my whole life, and over 5 decades. And I'm one of the very, very, very fortunate, but I'm far from a millionaire. I'm a working actor. And what I know is that many of us who are out there at this moment, because the technology has changed, there is now a different kind of structure in the way in which we get paid. And actors, no matter how much they work, there's always time off. There's a thing called residuals. The residuals are basically function of play. And what's happened is that because of the way streaming has come in, the new technology has sort of redesigned that. And in so doing, those of us who have been able to make a living are now struggling, really struggling. And then that's tied to our health insurance. If we don't make $26,000 a year, we don't get health insurance through our union. And many of us are not. They can't even do that. I've heard terrible stories of I won't name names, but of people who are series regulars on very big shows, and the show gets canceled in the next year because it was a streaming show. They lose their health insurance. And you think, well, how is that possible? Well, that year they didn't work, and they didn't make that minimum. We are freelancers, and we go job to job. Maybe every once in a while we get a series, and that's swell. But the fact is that being able to make a living doing this as a middle class actor, and that's really who everyone's fighting for, I think, is middle class actors and writers who have similar challenges, is how to be able to continue doing it with a lot of technological changes that don't necessarily sort of take us in mind, because the tech companies, what they're really concerned about are really bottom lines and streamlining, and in point in fact, actually it is an art, and it requires enormous care and time to be able to sort of evolve something so that I can walk in a set and do one scene, say, for example, in a show, but that it actually lands. You can't just do that, as a hobbyist. So we're fighting for a working wage, not for millionaires. I'm far from being a millionaire. All my friends are all those people that you go like, oh, you look familiar. Have I seen you on something? All of those people who support the Tom Cruises and the Tom Hankses and the Julia Roberts, those are the people that are really the kind of the working class, that literally the blue collar, workers who have, in this case, a lot at stake, and are willing, despite the fact that now I'm hearing that people are going out of business, people are losing their apartments, people are not able to feed their families. There's enormous financial hardship going on. And there's funds being created to be able to kind of give money to actors and to writers, because people are really having a hard time. we know the tech companies are in record profits. I mean, even today, Peacock had record profits, Netflix record profits, $591 billion this past year in terms of what the streaming, the profits. We're not asking for the moon. We're asking for a working wage so that we can keep doing it. And all of us our belts are so tight that we can't tighten it anymore. At some point you can't go any tighter. So you have to sort of go like, well, then we need to sort of throw down basically and fight for what hopefully what would become a living wage, so that we can keep doing this and not have to have secondary jobs to be able to support what we love doing.